Have you ever felt like a stranger in your own life? Like you're wearing a mask just to fit in, you're living someone else's story, and suddenly you stop and realize you don't recognize yourself anymore. Persian poet Hafez said it so beautifully and poetically centuries ago. In this video, we are going to decode one of his most powerful poems like a map back to ourselves. If you have been feeling lost, disconnected, or emotionally exhausted, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Massey, reviving the ancient Persian wisdom to enrich our modern lives. First, let's see what Hafez said in this magical poem. Why should I not long to return to my own land? Why not become the dust at my beloved's feet? I cannot bear the pain of exile and separation. I shall return to my homeland and be my own sovereign. Let me be among the confidants of union and the servant of my one true Lord. Life is uncertain, so it is better that on the day of reckoning I'm near my beloved. If I complain of my ill fortune and chaos, let me confide only in myself. Love and mischief have always been my craft, but now I will strive and focus on my own path. May divine grace guide Hafez to his destination, else he shall be forever ashamed before himself. Now let's unlock the powerful insights Hafez hid in this beautiful poem and see how we can use them for self-healing, emotional maturity, and reclaiming our identity. You might think Hafez was talking about a physical place when he said, why should I not long to return to my own homeland? But actually, he wasn't referring to Shiraz or any other city on a map. He wasn't talking about a physical place. He was talking about the true self. So homeland is a metaphor for our true self. When life feels scattered and we have lost a sense of direction, the first step is to reclaim our true self and find our way back to our true self. In psychology, we often talk about concepts like self-alignment, authenticity, and core identity. But Hafez said it much more beautifully centuries ago in this poem. He said, I want to return to the place within where my soul belongs. The exile of the soul is when you are successful, but you feel hollow, or when you are surrounded by people, even the people that you love, but you feel like a lonely stranger, or when you have always tried to be what other people wanted and needed you to be, but now you can't even recognize yourself. And coming home means making your way back, not to a physical place and not to the past, but to who you truly are and to your inner sanctuary. Trauma, social roles, and toxic relationships can pull us away from who we truly are. In modern psychology, we have a concept called self-realignment, which is the process of reclaiming the lost or disowned part of the self. When we are out of alignment with our true self, we experience symptoms like anxiety, decision paralysis, emotional exhaustion, deep dissatisfaction, and constant people-pleasing. I think now Hafez's words seem more relevant than ever. He's calling us back to come home to ourselves. Let's make this practical. Here are 3 things you can do to reconnect. The first one is digital detox. Create small windows of daily silence, even 5 minutes without your phone, just to let your inner voice speak up. Name your inner longing. Ask yourself, what am I truly missing? And write freely in a journal. Not the things that you think you should want, but the things that you secretly crave and need. Make home a feeling, not a place. Create daily rituals that ground you, like morning walks, prayer, or even listening to nostalgic music. Anything that helps bringing you back to the center. When Hafez says, I shall return to my homeland and be my own sovereign, he is not talking about ruling over land. He's talking about the inner kingdom and self-leadership. This points to the radical idea that we are in charge of our mental and emotional landscape. We can't always control the chaos, but we can choose how to show up. It's possible to step out of the victimhood and take control of our own choices. In today's world, we are often told to attract or manifest what we want, like love, money, or peace. But no one talks enough about inner accountability. Many of us wait for others to validate us, blame the system, our past, or even our parents, and feel stuck, hopeless, and overly dependent on better timing. This is emotional outsourcing. This is being a stranger in your own city. To be the king or the queen of your own city is to take full responsibility for your reactions, your future, and your healing. I'm going to give you an example to make it more clear. If your boundaries are constantly crossed in relationships, but you stay silent because you don't want conflict, this is giving up your throne. Being the sovereign of your own word means setting the boundaries, accepting the consequences, and owning your values and needs. But there are ways we can reclaim our throne. Stop explaining yourself to others. The more you seek external validation, the more power you lose. Build your emotional core. Practice responding instead of reacting. Pause before you reply, and journal what you really feel beneath that surface emotion. Design your personal city. List 5 things your ideal life looks like: habits, relationships, environment, and act like the ruler of that city. When everything in your life feels off, stop blaming and start making small daily rituals that align with your purpose. Hafez says, if I complain of my fate and chaos, let me confide only in myself and complain only to myself. This isn't about bottling up the pain. It's about processing our emotions internally before projecting them. In a world of oversharing, trauma dumping, and venting, this line feels revolutionary, especially when we know it had been written centuries ago. We've been told and taught that talking it out is healing. And yes, it can be. But if all we do is project, blame, and seek validation from other people, we delay self-reflection. We also stay in the cycle of drama, not healing. And we expose our most tender emotions and feelings to the people who can't hold them. This is about emotional discernment. Can we hold our own emotions long enough to understand them before we hand them down to someone else? Imagine when someone gets ghosted and they instantly text their friend, "I'm done with dating. People are trash." But underneath that rage is the story of abandonment that goes unaddressed. There are some tools that can help us be our own emotional container. The first one is the 24-hour rule. Try journaling or voice noting your feelings to yourself, then wait for a day. If after that time it still felt important and you felt like sharing it with other people, then do it. Feel first, label later. Emotions are data. Let yourself feel sadness, anger, or confusion without assigning blame. Let the emotions pass through you, not onto you. Choose safe space, not every space. Not everyone deserves access to your unfiltered emotional landscape. Protect your process. Hafez says, now that life is uncertain, it's better for me to be near my beloved. This is an invitation to live intentionally, even in the face of chaos. Most of us are just waiting and waste our life waiting and waiting for the time to be stable, for the time to be perfect. We say, when things are stable, I'm going to call my mom. I'm going to start therapy. I'm going to heal. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to take that trip. But certainty doesn't come. Life never calms down. We must learn to anchor ourselves in what truly matters, even when the storms rage on. When you're overwhelmed with work, juggling 10 deadlines, and your friend texts, "Wanna grab a coffee?" you almost say no, but then you remember, this is what actually makes all this bearable. To choose presence is to prioritize what feeds your soul now, to live aligned with what matters the most to you, and to let go of the illusion that everything needs to be fixed first. This is how you can anchor yourself in presence. Practice pre-decisions. Decide in advance what truly matters, like Sunday rest, family dinners, or no phone after 9 p.m., and stick to that regardless of the chaos. Live close to the beloved. For Hafez, it is God. For you, it can be love, nature, music, or absolutely anything that can reconnect you to the meaning. Let go of control fantasies. Replace "I need to fix everything" with "What can I honor in this moment?" If you've ever felt like a stranger in your own life, remember that you have the power to return, reclaim, and reignite your soul. I'd be grateful if you support me by liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and leaving me a comment. This is Masi, reviving the ancient Persian wisdom to enrich our modern lives. Until next video, stay wise and stay well.